Welcome back, Crescent Wrench Garage friends. Sorry it's been a while posting. Had some stuff go on, Haven't been doing any flips, but I bought this 2016 TTR125. Been wanting to get one so my daughter can ride it, but sorry I ripped it all apart already. Couldn't help myself. Motor's locked up. So there's plenty of videos online on how to get the crank out. But no one shows you how to rebuild the crank, because a new crank's about 550 bucks. Used, if you can find one, 250. But you can buy the eBay 29, 30 bucks for a new rod, bearing, and pin. But no one has on there how to rebuild these things. So you should have a press, honestly, to do it the correct way. But this is Crescent Wrench Garage, and sometimes if it works, it works. So this was together like so, with a pin and the rod. And I'm like, I don't have a press here. I've always wanted to get a press, but didn't have one. So I started with, let's see here. Shoot, what did I do with it? Started with a chisel, one of my heavy duty chisels. Let's see here. Did I put it back already? Dang it, I'm losing it, guys. Sorry. Kind of look like this, big chisel. I stuck it in between, right behind, and started till I got it that wide, right? Then I'm like, crap, how am I supposed to get the rest of the way? Because you should have a press and a piece of plate and press it through. Well, I had this steel wedge. I wedged in between there and tapped it, and it came apart. Now this thing has an oil passage that gets all that, and anyways, the new one should be coming in the mail, and I didn't want to have to remove that bearing and that sprocket, because you'll probably trash it, and there's 50 bucks. And then this gear is press fit on this side. I tried to heat it up to slide it off, but it's got a mark there for the balancer shaft. But you can, there's videos online all about how to get the TTR, but you can see how hot that got. The bearing got ruined, and then it just started beating around in there. So luckily I'm getting a new one of these. But what I did on these sides here is, they were fairly smooth, but that rod was moving up and down. So I took my nice sharpening stone and just, flattened it a little bit, get all the sharp and get any high spots. So when I do get the new parts, I'll go ahead and press that together, and hopefully I can assemble this mess all back together. I'm no engine expert, but I've never split cases before. This is my first time, so I do not want to take that apart, because that'll be fun. But I'll anyways get this all in here lined up, and hopefully I can get it back together and running. But maybe I'll do a little time lapse whenever I'm ready to do that. But I got parts coming, gaskets, all that, because this was a pretty clean bike. It just got locked up. So we'll see what happens. And whenever, I'll make a new update whenever, maybe in a week or two, when I got time to put this all back together. But we will continue on, and hopefully I can get this thing running. All right, guys, so I'm going to try to reassemble this without a press. But you see that hole there, you got to line that up with the hole there for oiling. But I can't find, the oil comes through that hole right there, which normally there's a keyway. So I don't understand how it gets oil to that. But anyways, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to heat this thing up. I have the other pin in the freezer, and I'm going to try to get that into there, and then we'll work on the next part. So I'll time lapse it here and see if I can beat that thing in without screwing it up. All right, so I lined it up and I tapped that pin. I had that freezer in a freezer for a week, and I just heated that up, and took a little bit of persuasion. Probably I didn't mushroom it or anything, so I got it in there and I got it fairly flush. I wanted to leave some room just in case I had to press it some more in there, but we'll do that. I'm heating that part up. This got hot. Transition of heat. So I wonder if I stick that in the freezer. I think I'm going to go with it, and put the rod and the bearing on here, and go ahead and put a little light grease on it, put that on, and then tap that and see if I can get it close. Okay, a redneck garage here. We got back in. I did about what I could find online, like 8 to 16 thousandths. I got it too tight the first time, so I had to spread it, but I'm right at about 8 thousandths. Nice side-to-side play here. So it's not going to get friction. I don't know what happened and why that got hot. Probably the bearing failed. So now we get to learn how to true this thing up. I got it as close as I could to my original marks line across. Probably should have had a ruler and done it better, but right there is my 2 marks. And if you were to take a straight edge, which I don't have, but they're fairly close. So now we're going to true it up, and there's plenty of videos online on how to true this thing up. I'm no expert. I got to build some type of rig that will get on here and get on here so I can spin this and see the run out. And we'll do that. I mean, almost that block would... No, I'm going to have to make some type of metal V to hold this. I don't know. Let me figure it out and I'll come back. Alright, so I took my jack stand pieces, set them in here so they ride on just a small part. And it's not riding on that sprocket. But I'm cheap, so I only bought 1 dial indicator. But I got 10. My stuff's not tight here. Or something moved. Let's see. There we go. We have about 10 thousandths run out. What I want to do is mark the high spot. And mark the high spot, go to the other side and see if it's a high spot. Let's see here if the Sharpie will work. That tells you if it's in, out. I don't know. There's a science behind this. This is my first time. So I marked the high spot there. Then I'm going to take and move this up and over. Like I said, guys, this is the redneck way. There's people who know what they're doing with this. Let's see here. Wrong way. Horrible cameraman. Alright, let's see if I can move this. Let's see here. I want to get this on the tip over here. Turn that, maybe turn this. Yeah, I could see how 2 dial indicators would be way better, but when you're on a tight budget, this is what you have to do. Man, how am I going to get over there? Oh, this space is loose too. I almost said this kind of works good, but just need a little extra length to get over there. How do I do that? Do that, go back around, spin this. Oh yeah, here we go. Tighten that real good. Pull that in. You want to be right on the 90 degrees of it, but like I said, good enough for who's this for. I just want to see if the high spot is the same or different. So let's put this at 0. I'm going to slowly spin it. Oh boy. Let's tighten that back up. It's kind of a small area to get the run out, but it's what we got to do here. If it's going to work. No. All right, let me figure out and come back with you. All right, so I think this might be a little wonky out here. What's really important is like the bearing surface right there and what rides on that. And if you spin this, I guess I could set this to 0. It is touching. We're at 0. We move 0.5 thousandths. That's pretty dang good. Make sure I'm doing that right. It was a little off out here, which of course is the farther angle, but what do you want, the bearing or out here? Perfect. I don't know. Let me keep messing with it. So I went over to the other side. It's kind of the same thing. Within a half, maybe 3/4 of a thousandth at the bearing surface. And then when I get out here, it's a little different. So I can't do this one-handed. I know I should be at a 90 degrees, but listen, people. This is Crescent Wrench Garage, not Dial Indicator Garage. Yeah, I'm gonna have to set it down here. Let's see what it is out at the outside here. Let's see, so if I zero it out, it shows 10 thousandths on the outside, but at the bearing surface, it doesn't even show a thousandth an inch in. So, I don't know. I'm at a crossroads. Do I monkey with it? I was looking at guys online, and they're trying to get it within a thousandths, but looks good there, but way off there. So, I should probably have 2 dial indicators, but is it good enough for who's it's for? I don't know, guys. You see them Indian guys online with a rock and hammer just spinning it, and it looks good. That's kind of what's happening here. That's showing 10 thou out at the end, which I do kind of see a little wobble. Let me see if I can monkey with it some more. So that's the high spot, which I had marked before. So if that's the high spot, needs to maybe, so you can twist it, you can tap it in and out, and that gives you all your different angles. And lots of guys online, you know, I'm just not an expert at this, but if I can get it close within, I would say 5 thousandths at the end, that'd be pretty good. So let's see if that's the high spot. I should have 2, one on each side, then you can see them move separate or together. Let me see if I can tap this thing. So if that's the high spot, we're gonna go there. We're gonna tap it in. Let's see. Should have a brass hammer for this, but I don't. So let's just do a, that felt like it moved way too much. Perfect. Better. That is definitely better. 9 thousandths. High spot, same spot. And the high spot's pretty much right there. So I'm just trying to, I don't want to twist too much. Let's do another tap. You can get a feel for this. I saw the guys online who do this every single day and rebuild cranks, but here at Crescent Wrench Garage, we do not do that. This is my first time, hopefully my last. Getting better? Is it getting better? 0. Ooh, 5 thousandths. Whatever I'm doing, let me do that again. So we're going to take, should have it on my wood here. Alright, put it back in this awesome handy dandy setup I got here. Put it at the end. Zero it out. Ooh, I went back to 7 thousandths. But I hit it in the exact same spot. So 7. That's my high spot. Am I going the wrong direction? So there is about 2 thousandths movement in my jig here. 7 thousandths too much. It's funny when you get picky, you can kind of see the movement of the shaft. So that's the high spot. So yeah, if I go like that, then that'll become the low spot. Someone probably is like, "You're doing it wrong, you idiot." Sorry, I shouldn't say that. We're not idiots. We're learning here. Those guys take a brass hammer and smack it online. Oh boy. I think I just really monkeyed it up. No, not too bad. Still 9 thousandths. Guys, do I leave it? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Okay, so I was watching some videos online and they were all measuring closer to the bearing surface than out here. I think that's what I'm going to do because, as you can tell, I have a thousandths gauge, but that thing's barely moving right there. That thing is about as true as you're going to get. Now I'll move it to the other side and see the same thing. All right, this is the other side. Might be moving a half a thou. Maybe 1 thou. You know, some of the specs are 0.001, but what am I going to do here? You know, we're splitting hairs now. I think it's a dirt bike. It's a kid's dirt bike. I don't think it's going to vibrate. I think we're going to call it there. I might tinker a little more just to see and learn, but let's see what happens. Continue to tinker. So I got this side within 1/4 thousandths maybe. Let me check the other side here. Yeah. Buy $2 indicators. Don't get cheap like me. Unless you're just going to do this once like me, because I'll say I'll never do this again. Don't buy dirt bikes that are locked up. I know people I should be dead true on, but how many times do I gotta say it's good enough for who it's for? Alright, let's see this now. Two thou out at the end. How about inside here? I could sit here all day and do this. I'm not going to. We're going to put it back together. And if it wobbles a couple heat cycles, maybe it'll true itself out. Just kidding. That's going to have to be good. So let's see if we can start putting this thing back together. It's been 2-3 weeks. And Yeah, I got a mess here. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Get it back in its case. All right, after about an hour of fighting this thing, finally got it back, mostly back together. You know, it spins pretty nice, and I still got my 8/1000 clearance on the crankshaft. Just gonna clean it all up and continue to put it back together. All right, got it back together. Spins over, and we'll go ahead and throw it back in the bike. Get it done. All right, motor's back in, all wired up. Oh, I just want to check this carb real quick. Did I already do that? I'll check it real quick, put the carb back in, and put a battery in and see if she fires up. All right, let's see. Let's see if she does kick over. Let's see if she's got compression. Oh yeah. So let's throw the spark plug in. Throw some fuel in it. Let's see if I got spark before I do that. Oh yeah, got spark. Kind of wanted to run it, get the oil primed. We'll see, hopefully we're close here. Wrench. Snug this down. I left the caps off. I think I cleaned this car a bit. It's been a couple weeks. There is no exhaust on it, so I got any starting fluid. Yeah, shouldn't do this, but I'm going to anyways. let's get the exhaust on there so we can run it more, get some fuel, see if we can get it to idle. Got a lot more cleanup to do, but what was I about to do? Fuel. I don't know what this gas is like, but oh yeah, exhaust. Sorry, I haven't eaten lunch and just keep on working here. So let's go reserve, get some fuel going in, put this exhaust on. That way it ain't so loud. I have a new gasket. Got that cheap kit off of eBay. I don't know, I can't remember what the price was, but it was super cheap. Throw a new gasket in there. Get the studs. Man, we're rocking and rolling. This thing might be a runner. Uh-oh, I got a fuel leak. Put a little grease on here so it sticks. That'll be good if this thing runs. I mean, we went from, paid $500 for this. I thought it might not have been a crank, but apparently it was. Learned how to rebuild a crank, which is new for everybody, or at least new for me. You haven't seen it on this channel yet. What else? Yeah, just lots of work here. See if we can get this tightened down. Get it started up. Where's this leaking from? Get this bolted up to here. Starting to look like a bike again. This wiring away from the exhaust. Oh, wondering where this went. So what do you guys think, man? Is this going to be worth it? I think I'm gonna have under $100 in it, but man, labor. Whew, we'll see if it holds up to, if my crankshaft rebuild is actually rebuilt or not. I thought that was fuel. Guess that's water coming out the exhaust. Huh. All right, let's see. Did I clean that carb? I cannot remember. Got oil. That from my, yeah. Perfect. We got oil up there. Let's put these caps on. Sounded a little noisy, but these caps are open, so. Sounded tight. Come on, get on there. What did I do with that wrench? Here it is. TTRs are going, you know, this is 2016. They're going for, you know, older ones, $1,200 running, maybe up to $1,600. So if I get 12 to 1,400, 500, 600 invested, I double my money, but labor-wise, this was a little more than what I wanted to do. But maybe my daughter will want to ride it for a little bit. She's been wanting a little mini bike. So we'll see if she wants to ride this thing or not. Let's fire it back up and see. More starting fluid. Maybe I didn't clean that out. See if I'm getting fuel to the carburetor, I guess. Well, let me get this thing running. No need to watch me tinker with it. Alright, come to find out, the gas tank was full of water, not fuel. So I drained all that out and boom. I'm going to check the valves real quick. One sounds a little loose. Got a lot of wrap up to do, but I don't know how long she's going to last. We'll see. I got... That was a crank rebuild from Crescent Wrench Garage, so we'll start to quiet down a little bit. Still water all in that carb, I bet. We'll just let it idle and eat through it. So once I get her back together, we'll see what she looks like. Alright, back at it. I had an oil leak, couldn't figure it out, and the base gasket shifted. So undid the cam tensioner, undid the bolts, lifted the cylinder up, and I'll fix that base gasket because it was leaking oil right out of the front of there. But yeah, it shifted and didn't see it. So I'll get that fixed and then back together.